Billionaire Mark Cuban says, only a morons get a loan to start a business. And I think there's some truth to that if you're starting a business, if you are getting a loan, chances are maybe you are not quite ready. Now, if you're a tech company, you raise capital, you have an idea for tech, I don't see a problem with that. But borrowing money from a bank to start a business, personally, I don't like the idea. I think it's a little bit risky, especially when you don't have a lot of business experience. If this is your first business that you're starting now, after you have some experience, borrowing money from the banks to buy a business, an existing business, I think as an acquisition, I think that's a very smart way to do it, because you're using basically commercial debt to at a very low interest rate to grow your business, to start something. Once is a big but, once you have a solid understanding and how business works, and also have a solid track record. That's my take. So in terms of your property, selling your property to put into your business, keep in mind, if you're referring to this is your primary residence, that's what I'm assuming. If that's the case, I think it's also very risky, because what if that business doesn't work? Now you have a business that's losing money, plus now you're putting your place, your home at risk. Then what happens if it doesn't work? Then you'll be homeless. In my mind, this is why in my book, even Unlock It, I talked about the wealth triangle. There are 3 steps to it. The first step is what I call high income skills, skills that pays the bills. The second step is the scalable business. That's when you actually start a business. Now, any business is scalable business. Then the third is high return investments. I think a safer, smarter, more intelligent way to go is to actually have the skills that produce income first, then take that money into starting that business, versus taking your primary residence, you take a mortgage out, you borrow money, or you sell one of your investments, could be stocks, could be real estate, then to fund your business. I don't think that's a very smart way to go, because if you need to do that, chances are there's a lot of risk within this new business that you're starting. Are there other ways that we can minimize that risk? There are many ways to do it, right? You can even shadow under someone who has a business like that, just to see what that is like. Think about the odds. 95% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years. It's a high percentage. So when you risk something that you already have, betting on something that chances are 9 out of 10, you will lose. That is not a very smart thing. Unless you know the industry very, very well, you have a lot of business skills, that you are a very savvy business person, then use leverage. Otherwise, I am very much against that idea. That's just my take. Some say that, hey man, you gotta take risk, you gotta mortgage your home, you gotta go all in. I did that in my early years. It is very, very difficult when you lose all that money that you didn't have, and I had to borrow money from family and friends and lost all my mom's money. It's difficult. So this is speaking from experience. I would not suggest you do that. Figure out smarter ways to see what can you do to use your skills, develop some skill sets to make money first, to generate that income first. If you want to get a copy of my Unlock It book, you can click on the link below or somewhere here. In the book, I talk a lot more about the wealth triangle and what are some of the high income skills that you could develop, what kind of scalable business that I would recommend. You can just get a copy, just pay shipping and handling, and I will send the book to you. So go ahead and click on the link and get a book today.